a ticket. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So we're going to edit a video, get on Matchmaker, look up some things, send the video to producers, and that's how we're going to do it. I hope that y'all having a great Saturday. Today is December 6th. Let's see. I have to move some things to the trash. Let's see what this is. Bear with me, you guys. I'm not, I have to delete some things. And that is good right there. Okay, so I've deleted everything. Let me empty the trash. And now, okay, I keep that one up. Put this right here. Before I go through what I'm about to go through, I wanted to show y'all some pretty cool things. Hold on, let me move this right here. Okay, my daily laugh of the day. I can't show it, but y'all must watch this. This was this show right here. I was in Charlotte when they played. I was just leaving Charlotte, or I was in Charlotte as they played this Kings of Comedy. I picked up where I left off in Washington, D.C., watching the whole show. But the only thing I beg to differ about is what he say when he says that there's never been a black bomber. Now we have 2020 coming in the election. I don't want to play what he said because I can get banned, but watch it at 22:55, this scene. But he's very hilarious and entertaining. He says stuff that you can't say. And I'm okay with that. He was talking, I was basically talking about the scene that I wanted to see was the little girl. I want y'all to imagine a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old. The 2-year-old is the ringleader girl. The 4-year-old don't speak, just stares. And the 6-year-old is questionable, possible homosexual in the making. So Bernie, I'm saying this in without using ebonics. Bernie said that he got custody of these fictitious children. He even did a spinoff comedy about it. And one night he was in the kitchen and the 2-year-old directed the 6-year-old homosexual to go get some cookies. And so the homosexual come downstairs and Bernie says, "What are you doing?" in the nicest way, I'm saying. And he said, "To get some milk and cookies." And he said, "Get upstairs. I'm not giving you no effing milk and cookies." So the key, he's very entertaining, Bernie RIP. Because then the 2-year-old said, "Where the cookies and you know what?" And he says, "Him downstairs." He don't say Bernie's downstairs. He don't say this MF is downstairs. He don't say none of that. He just say him downstairs. And that is exactly how my nephews-in-law used to speak. So I'm starting to laugh. I'm laughing, because a 6-year-old, dialogue, and it's not that educational. So think of a 6-year-old saying him downstairs, and the 2-year-old directed the 6-year-old. How does a 2-year-old black girl direct a black 6-year-old down the stairs for some milk and cookies? Now the 6-year-old says, "I can't get it because him downstairs." The 2-year-old says, "I'll get it myself." So the 2-year-olds go waddling. How did he say? Hold on, let me do what he said. He's like waddling down. and so after the 2-year-old come downstairs, Bernie like, "What are you doing?" And it said, "To get some milk and cookies." And so he said, "Didn't I tell your homosexual brother that he couldn't have some milk and cookies? Get your punk butt upstairs before I whoop your tail too." Ain't nobody getting no milk and cookies tonight. And so the next thing you know, the 2-year-old looks him up and down, sizes him up. And so these are two different versions, but Bernie looks at her and says, "I know what that means, Charlotte, North Carolina. That means you want to fight." So he backed up off the 2-year-old and said, "Bust the motherfucking move." But it's hilarious. It's funny as all games. And then they had this big mama. That was my mother, big mama, even though she wasn't big, that if you say something, that they'll hit you on sight. I've never known a white person to do that, hit somebody on sight. I've never seen it. But it's in a black person's DNA. Certain women, that if a big mama, quote unquote, a church going lady is talking and a 10-year-old say, "Well, she's like, I got some tomatoes, some foil, some cheese." "No, mama, you got the cabbage." And then she swings around and hits you because you interjecting in adult business. I never seen or even seen in the movies um a white lady that's old that would do something like that. I've never seen it projected in a movie. I've seen some crazy people look crazy, and it relates to certain people, but I have not seen um white people turn around and just hit somebody on instinct. When you talk, that's why I learned. I had, even though I cursed, I had like straight respect for my elders. I may have cursed. I learned how to curse. It wasn't my fault, but I always respected my elders. I didn't interject unless they disrespected me and sabotaged me. It goes both ways. You got some children that are 15 that know the law and know how to get people in trouble. Based on what I've been through, I would say that I should have been called the law on my aunt when I was 15, 16 going through. She was sabotaging me at the brink. Like, seriously, this woman would have my sister literally fight me and beat me up. I was never a fighter. Even in the military, I was never a fighter. We used to have these events where we take these pogo sticks and hit people. I got knocked off out of on that by Gus. I remember her name. She was part Hispanic. So, she sat up there and she caused this. And Bernie Mac, he things that go on dysfunctional, everything that he said is true in a Black person's world, except for the fact that he said he's not alive no more, but he said that Black people don't plant bombs. Now, we're going to fast forward to 2020. What's hilarious is that he could have bought the boots from Walmart. He could have bought some boots from Walmart. He could have changed his shoes, but he wore the same shoes. Probably threw them away, probably didn't. But he wore something that connects him, his Nikes. That's how they knew it was a Black person. He wear his Nikes to a RNC like nobody's watching. And that's what leads me to believe about the Nancy Pelosi story. How can they see this bomber, but they can't see someone from Canada swaying through government property, high-end celebrities and politicians through the back to break open glass? He broke open glass. He gave Paul Pelosi a water. He was okay with Paul Pelosi calling the police. But as soon as the police get here, then he spaz out. He opens the door and then he spaz out. Now, this particular person, which is African American, I can't help it. I'm the messenger. He goes in like he will never be spotted out. Cash Patel said that he will follow him to the brinks of the world. He would have followed this subject to the brinks of the world. He lived in the suburbs. This particular African American male lived in the suburbs. This is why I want to be in predominantly white areas, because their surveillance is totally different than the surveillance at a Black community. If they don't like you in a Black community and you get shot, they aren't talking, or they're scared to talk. White people come forward. And I can prove that Black people cover it up, because when he stabbed that white woman, when that Black guy, that monster, stabbed that white woman, she just sat down. All she did was sit down. And he didn't like her. He didn't like her kind. And this goes to the governor of North Carolina, because you're like this is wrong. There's a division between Black and white. The police targets Black people. White people treat Black people nasty there, and Black people get tired of it, or they just come up with some type of conclusion. I've never been treated bad while I was in Kannapolis or Charlotte. The police, they never pulled me over at age 15 driving without a license. Um, they never did nothing to me. But that technology or whatever is going on, there's a division in Charlotte. The police do target black men. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if it's still, I can't pinpoint if it's still going on, but if you commit a crime, you're going to be targeted for the rest of your time in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's how it should be. Don't get mad. I I couldn't help my crime. I couldn't help my crime because of the fact that um somebody poisoned me. They had to cheat in order to get a response like they did. And they did it multiple times. They keep trying to poison me. Now, why would somebody who has connections to the, possibly to the FBI say that she's being poisoned? Because when I act out of character, I look at the last thing I did. And the last thing I did was drink my Red Bull. The last thing I did was took drugs. The last thing I did was took drugs. The pattern is clear. I can't just be on drugs with medicinal marijuana and then all of a sudden have a spaz out because after taking a drug. So I noticed my behavior. This is a 5 year at 740 UC South Capitol Street. Like Cash Patel said, you're not going to come into, and they claim that he's a Trump supporter. It's no way you're going to put a pipe bomb. That's how people smear their name. He said if he get caught, he would try to make it seem like it's Trump. It's no way like he's a Trump supporter. There's no way someone that's planting bombs in RNC and DNC places is a Trump supporter. It would have been a whole catastrophe. And all it had that bomb went off. I don't know what made the bomb. It's going to be some information that do not get stated. This is why monsters deserve to be locked up like this. It was a majority of mixed people there. There were people from the RNC, the people that were Republicans, there were people that are Democrats there at the J6. There were covert moles there looking to cause trouble and make Trump look bad, because if that wasn't the case, then Trump would have um it was all a setup. His secret service, didn't want him going back to the White House. They were tussling from what I hear in the videos. He demanded them take him back. They didn't want to take him back. I don't know what their motive was, but then Nancy Pelosi said that she would not call in the National Guard. And now we have clue number Googleplex. This black man is putting pipe bombs. This random guy during the course of what's going on is placing pipe bombs where a lot of heavy traffic flowed. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. That's this picture right there. If you think that you can suit up and cover the fuck up thinking that the FBI cannot uncover your fucking face, you are the stupidest person on earth. If you think we don't have technology, we can see through fucking bones. We can see through bones. If you think that covering up, the police may not have that technology, but once you go federal, it's too easy. They did was look at his face and connect him. They looked at his face and connect his telephone records, everything to him. It would have took even longer had a Democrat president been in office. It probably would have never been found. Or it would have been found that he was a Republican. So, yeah, I don't even want to. I'm not saying nobody is better than the other, but I'm just saying I know what happened. I know what happened. I'm not doing nothing wrong by telling my part. There's people that sit up there and tell how they feel all day, every day. And now I got a restriction. How is that misinformation? I would like to dispute that. It's nothing I said wrong. That's why I don't talk about politics. 18-year-old who is a high school senior is charged with arson after New York subway passenger is set on fire. Okay, let's get started. So if you have like a cell phone that's a burner phone anything connected to a cell tower, that's why they did 5G, because it's like anything connected to a cell tower, whether it be a Mexican burner phone or a burner phone, is still pinging off of the tower. Anything pinging off of that tower that we see every day is being recorded. So all they had to do was look at his face, pinpoint his cell phone, who was near that place when that cell phone had went off, pinged from a certain cell tower, traces every whereabouts, how he got away. I mean, it's stupid. Y'all really, these criminals really think they're going to get away. One last thing, they notice the patterns of criminals too. They notice the patterns, wow. They just notice the patterns. It's sad that it took 5 years because um, Trump only been in office a year, not even a year, months, late months, and he's been able to crack the code for this whole thing. Him and Cash Patel. And so technically, it took 4 years of the Biden administration to not understand or know what was going on. And then as soon as Trump, such as cabinet such as Cash Patel come into office, then something gets done. So we will never know the whole story because of how sensitive this information is. What is going on? Annulation. Oh God, Kim, I get so. I noticed that teachers can act two ways towards students. They can either understand that some students want to learn, and those are the students that you want to nurture so they can grow and become better persons. Or you have teachers that want to see you down and struggle, and they don't want to help. They just get paid to do their job, and then sometimes if it's people like me, they give me the bare minimum. And I can't say that for all the teachers I've came across. Just one. It's not as easy as it looked, counting and math and stuff. I just got the concept based on everything I learned in my 41 years that there's formulas and certain percentages to certain things that one must know in order to pay taxes and pay their bills and stuff. And so I grasp that concept now. You ask me how to do it, I'll ask Grok or I'll ask Google or I'll ask somebody to teach it to me. And thank God I have structure where I can get someone to teach it to me. Oh God, Kimberly. Okay. I can't fall in love with the like I can sit up there and listen to the whole thing. If I listen to the whole thing, I'm not going to want to take nothing out. But if I commit to taking something off, then you can't commit to being in love with the footage, even though the whole footage sounds great, even though there's hiccups. I can't commit to the whole thing. I forgot about that gold lipstick. I need some more. Wow, people called me from England. It's an honor. Ah, baby. A billion people watching Queen Elizabeth and mourning for her. He's been doing podcasting for 20 years. You mean to tell me that we have this big aircraft or whatever it is, this common, whatever it is, coming here, and we can't seem to get a close up picture? We're just going to let it come into our territory. We're just going to allow it to come into our territory because that's how nonchalant we are. We're just like, oh, look at that. We're not going to prepare. They've already prepared. Whatever is in the universe coming here is probably already past us. You know, it's no way the government of all the world is going to allow a spacecraft that is non-benevolent to come into our space territory without us knowing who it is. We've been quiet for a while. We've had hiccups, but we've been quiet for a while. So why now? I need some music. I got some more music. Where's the music at? That's it. That's the only music. Fiddlesticks. Guess we gotta keep to generic music today. Give me a second, you guys. Oh, I forgot the other throwback. I have to put this on Spotify. Come on, where you at? Where you at? Okay. I don't think I ever say anything bad about Manhattan Neighborhood Network and DCTV. Let me, this is season 6, log out, log in, Spotify. Okay, I'm scared now. Log in. Log in. No, that's not the one. Bear with me, y'all. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Where is it at? Where is the, okay, no, I don't want to get back in here. Kimberly Glover, 55. Oh, that's what's making me get confused. That's what it is. Okay. Where are you at? Bear with me, you guys. Okay. Okay, that's one. Let's log out, log in, continue with Spotify, go to Google, Hauser. There we go. It's very difficult sometimes. So we got a new episode. Let me connect you guys now. Before I go there, this episode, let me make sure it went through. Hopefully it went through. Is about two totally different men. One from Australia that never struggled with math in school and loved math and sticking to the background. Million. What just happened? Millionaire. See, the other is from England, and they had a near death experience. They also talk about Queen Elizabeth more. I hope I spelled Australia right. That would be very embarrassing. Let me. Is it two L's? No, Kimberly. How many minutes is it? 2917. Stay on page. Elsewhere. No. No. Where is Manhattan Neighborhood Network? Continue. Upload. Okay, so I got that on Spotify. Got this, this. Move this. Episode, month, year. Ah, didn't mean to do that. Today is December 6th, 2025. Okay, while these going, I'm getting off of here. So while these going off, I just wanted to say that I'm getting off of here. I will see y'all later. Remember, to stay vigilant, stay active in your vision in your life. So take care, be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.